When you're in a relationship or trying to understand a man's feelings, words are often seen as the primary way to express emotions. But sometimes, the most powerful and truthful expressions come from what is unsaid. Often, a man's eyes will reveal emotions and feelings he might not be ready to express out loud. The eyes have always been called the window to the soul, and in the context of love, they can show emotions that words cannot articulate. One of the most subtle, yet significant signs that a man secretly loves you is in the way his eyes behave around you. It's not just about looking at you, it's about how he looks at you. His gaze might soften when you talk, or there might be an unmistakable warmth in his eyes when you enter the room. These fleeting yet profound moments speak volumes. Even if he doesn't say, "I love you," his eyes may tell you everything you need to know. In a world where we often seek clarity in words, the language of the eyes can often convey a deeper, more genuine message. It's the way his eyes linger on you a little longer than they would on anyone else. It's the small glances that communicate his admiration, or the way his gaze follows you when you leave the room. It's an unspoken connection that can leave you feeling both seen and understood. Even if he's trying to hold back or suppress his feelings, his eyes cannot lie. They are often the first to reveal his true emotions. Sometimes it's not just the gaze that gives him away. His eyes also communicate what he's feeling in moments when words would fail. For instance, when you talk about something you're passionate about, his eyes light up, reflecting genuine interest and admiration. In moments of silence, when nothing is being said, his eyes might still be speaking volumes. There may be tenderness in his gaze, an unspoken appreciation, or a longing that reveals just how deeply he cares. If a man loves you secretly, he might hold back his emotions for various reasons: fear of rejection, uncertainty, or simply not being ready to fully admit his feelings. But even in such situations, his eyes remain open, revealing what he might not be able to say aloud. His eyes will communicate his desires, his protectiveness, and his deep affection. The way he looks at you is often a subtle yet undeniable way of saying, "I love you," without saying it at all. In this article, we'll explore how a man's eyes can reveal what his words often can't. From the way his gaze softens when he sees you to the way his eyes light up when you speak, these moments can offer you a deeper understanding of his feelings. So, if you've ever wondered whether a man loves you but hasn't said it yet, paying attention to his eyes might give you all the answers you need. He remembers the little details about you. When a man secretly loves you but doesn't say it, one of the biggest signs is that he remembers even the smallest details about you. It's not just about recalling your birthday or favorite color, but the little things most people overlook. He pays attention to the way you take your coffee, the songs you hum when you're distracted, or the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you love. These tiny observations show that he genuinely listens and values everything about you. Even in casual conversations, he might bring up something you mentioned weeks ago, surprising you with how well he remembers. He may recall your childhood stories, the book you wanted to read, or the place you said you'd love to visit. Without realizing it, he absorbs everything about you because he genuinely cares. If you once casually mentioned that you love a certain snack, he might surprise you with it later, pretending it's no big deal. His ability to remember these details comes from a deep emotional connection. Unlike others who might forget what you said the next day, he holds on to these moments because they matter to him. It's his silent way of showing affection, proving that even without saying "I love you," his actions already do. This kind of attentiveness isn't something forced. It's a natural response when someone truly values and admires you. 1. His body language changes around you. When a man secretly loves you but doesn't say it, his body language speaks louder than words. His posture, facial expressions, and small unconscious gestures reveal his feelings without him even realizing it. Around you, he might sit up straighter, adjust his clothes, or run his fingers through his hair, trying to appear more attractive. His feet and body naturally point toward you, showing that he's fully engaged and drawn to your presence. His eyes give away a lot too. He might hold eye contact longer than usual, as if he's mesmerized by you, or he may quickly look away when you catch him staring. If he's shy, he might fidget, rub his hands, or touch his face when talking to you. His voice may also change, becoming softer and more gentle when addressing you, or slightly deeper as he tries to impress you. Another sign is his tendency to mirror your movements. If you cross your arms, lean forward, or play with your hair, he might unknowingly do the same. This subconscious mimicry indicates a deep emotional connection. When he laughs at your jokes, even the not-so-funny ones, or leans in when you speak, it's clear he enjoys being close to you. Even in a crowded room, he instinctively finds ways to stay near you. Whether it's subtle touches, playful nudges, or brushing past you unnecessarily, his body is constantly seeking a connection, revealing his hidden feelings without saying a word. 2. He finds excuses to be near you. When a man secretly loves you but doesn't say it, he will always find reasons to be near you. Whether it's intentional or subconscious, he looks for opportunities to be in your presence, even when there's no real reason to be there. He may suddenly show interest in activities you like, join the same group as you, or conveniently appear in places you frequent. Even if he has other things to do, he will adjust his schedule just to spend a little extra time around you. You might notice that he lingers after conversations, hesitating to leave as if he's waiting for another chance to talk. He may offer to help you with simple tasks, like carrying something heavy or fixing something minor, just so he has a reason to be useful to you. If you're at work or school together, he might sit near you, casually walk by your desk, or find small ways to include himself in your plans. Even in group settings, he naturally gravitates toward you. If you move to another spot, he may follow shortly after, making it seem like a coincidence. When you need something, he's the first to step in, offering assistance before you even ask. It's never forced. It just happens because being near you makes him happy. His constant presence isn't just luck. It's his way of staying connected to you, even if he's too afraid to admit his true feelings. 3. He gets jealous, but tries to hide it. When a man secretly loves you but doesn't openly express it, jealousy can be a strong indicator of his feelings, though he may try to hide it. It's not the dramatic or possessive type of jealousy, but rather a quiet, subtle reaction that shows how much he cares. He becomes visibly uncomfortable when other people show interest in you, especially if they're men. This jealousy can show up in small ways, like him becoming slightly distant or quieter, or even a shift in his tone of voice when talking about someone else who might be flirting with you. He may not openly confront you about it, but you can tell by the way he watches you interact with others. He might linger on the sidelines, trying not to show how he feels, or he could casually make comments about the other person, downplaying their importance without seeming too obvious. If someone else gives you attention, he might act differently, suddenly more protective or more engaged, as if he's trying to redirect your focus back to him. At times, he might brush it off with humor or light-hearted remarks, pretending it doesn't bother him. But you can catch the slight tension in his body language, or see the fleeting moment of discomfort in his eyes. It's his way of expressing his hidden affection, even if he's not ready to admit it. This jealousy isn't about controlling you. It's about him caring enough to feel a little threatened by others, especially when he's secretly in love with you. 4. He prioritizes your happiness. When a man secretly loves you, one of the clearest signs is how much he prioritizes your happiness. Even without saying it, he will go out of his way to make sure you feel comfortable, cared for, and content. If you're having a rough day, he's the first to offer support, even if it means putting his own needs aside. He remembers what makes you smile, and he will try to bring those moments into your life, whether it's by sending you something thoughtful or planning little surprises that brighten your day. He doesn't just listen to your problems, he actively seeks solutions. If you're upset, he tries to make things better in any way he can, offering comfort or helping with whatever needs to be done. If you've mentioned a small desire, like wanting to try a new restaurant or seeing a certain movie, he'll make an effort to make it happen, just to see you happy. He might also be the one to cheer you on when you're pursuing something important to you, encouraging your dreams and being supportive of your goals. His desire to see you succeed comes from a deep affection, as he genuinely cares about your well-being and joy. It's not about grand gestures or trying to impress you. It's the little things he does consistently that show he values your happiness more than his own. 5. He supports you in everything. When a man secretly loves you, one of the most telling signs is his unwavering support in everything you do. Whether it's something big like a career move or something small like taking on a new hobby, he's always there, cheering you on. He listens carefully when you share your goals or challenges, offering advice when needed, but most importantly, he encourages you to follow your passions without hesitation. His support isn't limited to words. He shows it through his actions. He might help you with tasks, step in when you need assistance, or simply be a comforting presence when you're feeling unsure. No matter what, he believes in your abilities and wants to see you succeed, often putting his own needs or desires on the back burner to make sure you have the space and resources to pursue yours. If you're struggling, he's the first to lift you up, reminding you of your strengths and offering solutions or just being there to listen. He never questions your dreams or belittles your ambitions. On the contrary, he acts as your biggest supporter, even if he feels vulnerable doing so. This deep sense of commitment and care for your happiness reflects how much he truly values you, showing that his love for you goes beyond simple affection. It's a constant, reliable foundation of support. 6. He texts or calls you for no reason. When a man secretly loves you, one of the most telling signs is how often he reaches out to you, even when there's no specific reason to. He doesn't need a reason to text or call you, he just wants to hear from you or check in on how you're doing. His messages aren't just about logistics or casual updates. They often start with simple, sweet greetings like, "Hey, how's your day going?" Or, "Just wanted to say, I hope you're doing well." Even in the middle of the day, when there's nothing urgent to discuss, he might send you a message or call just to brighten your mood. These texts often don't carry any hidden agenda. They're his way of staying connected, making sure you know he's thinking of you. He might share something funny he saw, or just send a random thought that reminded him of you, looking for any reason to keep the conversation going. At times, his calls may be short and casual, just to hear your voice or check on your day, showing that he values those small moments of connection. His frequency in reaching out doesn't always indicate something urgent, but rather that you're always on his mind. He wants to be a part of your life in every little way, even when there's no particular event or news to share. This constant communication reflects how deeply he feels, even if his feelings remain unspoken. 7. He listens to you attentively. When a man secretly loves you, one of the most significant signs is how attentively he listens when you speak. He isn't just hearing your words. He's truly absorbing what you're saying, remembering the smallest details, and showing genuine interest in your thoughts and feelings. He might ask follow-up questions about things you've shared in the past, showing that he values your opinions and cares about what matters to you. You'll notice that when you're talking, he gives you his full attention, not distracted by his phone or other things around him. His body language mirrors his focus. He makes eye contact, leans in slightly, and listens without interrupting. Even if you're telling him something minor, like what you had for lunch or a story about your day, he treats it with the same importance as something much more significant. What stands out the most is that he remembers these details. If you mention something you're struggling with or something that excites you, he'll bring it up later, showing that he's been thinking about it long after your conversation ended. This attention isn't something forced. It's a natural expression of how much he cares about you and wants to understand you on a deeper level. By truly listening, He's telling you, without words, that you matter to him in ways more profound than just surface-level interactions. 8. He acts nervous or shy around you. When a man secretly loves you, his nervousness or shyness around you can be one of the most endearing signs of his feelings. Even though he may be confident in other situations, when it comes to you, he might suddenly become self-conscious, unsure of how to act or what to say. He may stumble over his words, hesitate before speaking, or laugh nervously at something that isn't even funny. These small, awkward moments reveal how much he cares and how deeply he's affected by being around you. His body language might also change. He may avoid direct eye contact, or, on the flip side, stare at you a little too long before looking away quickly. He might fidget, adjust his clothes, or find a reason to move around or shift his position, subconsciously trying to calm his nerves. His smile may be more frequent and a little shy, as if he's not sure how to express his emotions fully. Despite these signs of nervousness, he'll likely still try to impress you or be helpful in some way, whether it's offering assistance or trying to make you laugh. His shyness comes from a place of vulnerability, showing that he's emotionally invested and worried about how you'll perceive him. Even if he acts shy or awkward, it's his way of showing you that you have a special place in his heart, and he's afraid of doing something that might make you feel differently about him. He compliments you in subtle ways. When a man secretly loves you, his compliments can often be subtle, almost hidden in the way he speaks to you. Instead of directly saying you're beautiful or I love you, he might compliment you in a more indirect manner, highlighting things that show how much he appreciates who you are. For example, he might say things like, "You always know how to make a bad day better," or "You have the best ideas," pointing out the unique qualities that he admires without overtly expressing his feelings. These compliments are often connected to your personality or actions, rather than just your appearance. He'll praise how you handle challenges or how you make people feel comfortable around you. It's not about flattering you for the sake of it, but rather recognizing the deeper qualities that make you special. He wants you to know that he sees beyond the surface, valuing the things that others might overlook. Sometimes, his compliments might come at unexpected moments, almost like an offhand comment, but you can tell there's sincerity behind them. He might notice small changes in you, like a new hairstyle or a different outfit, and compliment you in a way that makes you feel seen and appreciated. These subtle remarks are his way of showing admiration, but he holds back from being too forward, often out of fear of revealing his deeper emotions. 11. He defends you when you're not around. When a man secretly loves you, one of the most telling signs is how he defends you, even when you're not around. If someone talks negatively about you or says something hurtful, he's the first to stand up for you, even if you're not there to hear it. His loyalty to you becomes evident in these moments, as he won't hesitate to speak out in your defense. He might correct someone who makes assumptions about you, or challenge gossip that isn't true, showing that he believes in your character and won't let anyone tarnish your reputation. His defense doesn't always have to be loud or confrontational. It can be as simple as him calmly saying, "You don't really know her like I do," or giving a gentle but firm reminder of who you truly are. What makes this particularly meaningful is that he's not doing it for attention or to gain favor with you. He's acting out of a deep, unspoken affection for you. His defense comes from the desire to protect you, even in your absence, because he values you and cares deeply about how others perceive you. Whether it's a small situation or a larger one, his instinct is to stand up for you, reinforcing that his feelings for you go far beyond surface-level admiration. 12. He tries to impress you. When a man secretly loves you, one of the most noticeable signs is how he'll go out of his way to try and impress you. He may not always do it in obvious or grand gestures, but you'll notice the little things he does to show you how much he cares. Whether it's trying to be more knowledgeable about something you're passionate about, making an effort to look good when he knows he'll see you, or putting his skills to use to help you, he wants to leave a positive impression. He might take the time to learn about things that matter to you, even if they're outside of his usual interests, simply because he wants to engage in conversations with you that are meaningful. He may also take pride in showcasing his talents or skills, whether it's cooking you a meal, doing something creative, or even helping you with tasks, just to show that he's capable and willing to put in effort for your sake. Beyond actions, he might also subtly boast about achievements or share his accomplishments in a way that's not arrogant, but more about wanting to show you that he's worthy of your attention and affection. His desire to impress is rooted in wanting to make you feel special, and he genuinely hopes that you'll see him in a positive light because for him, your opinion matters more than anything. 13. He makes time for you despite being busy. When a man secretly loves you, one of the clearest signs is how he makes time for you, even when his schedule is packed. Despite having a busy life with work, personal commitments, or other obligations, he finds ways to carve out moments to be with you or communicate with you. He understands that time is valuable, and yet he prioritizes you because your presence in his life is important to him. Even if it's just a quick text to check in or a short phone call during his lunch break, he ensures that you feel valued and cared for, no matter how hectic his day is. If you need him for something important or just to talk, he makes an effort to be available, showing that no matter how much is going on, you come first in his heart. He might adjust his plans or rearrange his commitments to accommodate time with you, not because he has to, but because he wants to. This effort reflects his genuine affection and interest in being part of your life, even in the smallest, most unexpected ways. His ability to make time for you, despite his busy life, shows that he cares deeply and is willing to invest in the relationship, no matter how demanding things get around him. 14. He gets protective when someone hurts you. When a man secretly loves you, one of the most powerful signs is how protective he becomes when someone hurts you, whether physically or emotionally. His instinct to defend and shield you from harm kicks in immediately, often without thinking. He won't tolerate any mistreatment, and if someone says something hurtful or wrong to you, he's likely to step in and defend you, even if it's in a subtle, non-confrontational way. This protectiveness can show in various forms. It could be as simple as him standing by your side when others are being unfair, offering you support in moments of vulnerability, or making sure you're okay after an argument or upsetting situation. His body language will change too. He might take a protective stance, put himself between you and the source of harm, or even give you a comforting look that says, "I've got your back." If someone close to him disrespects you or hurts you, his response is often swift and direct. His actions are driven by a desire to ensure your safety and emotional well-being, and he will go out of his way to make sure you feel secure, even if it means stepping out of his comfort zone. This protectiveness is an expression of the deep care he has for you and a silent but powerful way of showing that he wants to keep you from any pain or distress. 15. His eyes say what his words don't. When a man secretly loves you, sometimes his eyes reveal more than his words ever could. His gaze carries an intensity and emotion that can't be easily hidden, no matter how much he tries to keep his feelings in check. When he looks at you, his eyes often soften, and there's a warmth in them that speaks volumes about his affection. You might notice that when he's around you, he often gazes at you a little longer than usual, with a look that seems to say more than a simple hello or smile. There's an unspoken connection in the way his eyes follow you, whether he's listening intently to what you're saying or just watching you from across the room. His eyes can't mask the admiration and love he feels for you, even if his words haven't caught up to his emotions yet. In moments of silence, his eyes might reveal his vulnerability. There's a tenderness, a longing, or a sense of wonder that speaks directly to how deeply he cares. His expressions may change quickly, softening when you smile or lighting up when you laugh, showing his true feelings without saying a single word. Even if he's trying to hold back his emotions, his eyes are often the first thing to betray his heart, telling you exactly how much he values and loves you.